Welcome back, guys, to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, where last episode we questioned Mr Garrideb and his maid about the events surrounding the murder, with any line of reply going down a road that seemed to lead to an answer, being met with a lapful of tea that scolded away the truths we wanted, leading us to head down into Mr Natsume's room and a meeting with Herlock Sholmes. With the detective having not specifically pointed at our defendant as the criminal, his curiosity about the secret the homeowner is seemingly hiding has led him to follow us upstairs, as we now get to the bottom of things. Hello? Herlock. What's going on? Don't jump. What's he doing over there? But, Mr. Sholmes! Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows! Good gracious, where did you sneak in here? He's a ninja. Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. What were you doing over by the window? I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madame. Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, keep an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. And one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about, is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There is a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There is just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Mr. Garrideb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon? The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruhodo, look! The old man's broken out a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How could you possibly... How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of the beasts. And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Here we go. To topic 1. The nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Follow the eyes. For a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Or not so much. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? And living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. chilling trace of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well... Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame? Bit on the nose. Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is. Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. But protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah! Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying line, Mr Garrideb. At Batty's Circus. A travelling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I've made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. Okay, sure. Let's go to the circus then. A rampaging Asiatic lion. Topic 2. Aftermath. Now, Mr. Garrideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. It's true. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man, I simply... But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. Oh god. I think Sholmes might get a slap soon. As you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wondering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it, or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. Sure. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' Great Deduction of this beastly puzzle. You really think that's a rug munching, do you? Ah! What is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me! Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it again? Well, your deductions just now... Do you really think a line could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrideb and his maid would have been hurt, or worse. Ah, that's where you were stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some irregularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Yes, it's part of our indoctrination. We do that. Oh, what a glorious notion, as well as fire flames by, magic. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. Yay, time to dance. But actually, yay, time to dance! We're not in Ryunosuke's kind of point of view. A slight massage. That's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it. A slight massage. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Nasume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least that's what I want to believe. Let us start again. From the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Should be Herlock and Ryunosuke's. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. The nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to your answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garrideb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow Mr. Garrideb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. Well, generally, you look at the things that are actually a bit more lit up than most, and I think we can clearly see what it actually is. It's definitely this. Not really. These are shells for the cannon, are they? What a strange place to keep them. I imagine they have some significance to Mr. Garrideb from his time in the army. Ah, of course. He mentioned a battle to us before, didn't he? Do you remember? He said that he'd been shot in the knee. Perhaps it was one of these to hit him. If around that size hit his knee, there'd be nothing left of it. Or Mr. Garrideb, for that matter. Mr. Sholmes the Persian slipper. And this man has spent shells. Perhaps it's customary in Britain to display, well, rubbish on the mantelpiece. I guess we didn't look too well at the building for the Persian slipper, did we? The lying statue's what it wants us to look at. Or what Sherlock looked at. Well, this is the lion statue that Mr. Sholmes picked out. Yes, I wonder. Perhaps if you did live with a lion, it would prove to be a rather sweet companion. I think that's like a mouse trying to tell its family that the cat around the house is sweet. I suppose it is a bit of a flight fancy, isn't it? Anyway, the beast we're looking for is something else. Let's have a good look around. No one should have a creature like that as a pet. Wild, be wild. Photograph frame. What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Garrideb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply there. So we can look at Mr. Garrideb or the newlywed bride. The glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all. No amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Not at all. Oh look, have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, that's an unusual design. Looks like some sort of embellished sunflower. So what am I looking to actually present here? Ooh. I do wonder if I'm looking to do the photo itself. Or not. Is this too in? Because I know this is the cause of everything here. And I know this is what he was looking at. This is the nature of the beast. Sorry to say. A lot of horsepower there.
Take that!
The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garrideb. And while we will learn the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh, indeed. Surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late. The fact remains that the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garrideb. Ah! The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well. Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is. Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. What? You sold your wife to the circus. The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh, dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of a Mrs. Garrideb anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that is this Maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrideb's wife could be. Well, let me guess. Bing, bang, boosh. Not meant to go down to the booty. I'm just having camera controls issues. That's the honest truth. I was just looking around to see if there's anything else going on. I want to check out the teapot scolding. It's +5. What a charming little teapot, and it's in pristine condition. Joan has been pouring some deliciously fragrant tea from it for Mr. Garrideb, hasn't she? Well, not so much for Mr. Garrideb as on Mr. Garrideb, wouldn't you say? I wouldn't dream of drawing attention to it. Let's go with what we know. She's wearing a very large ring. Look. Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. And it's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. It looks like it's on there for life too. I can't imagine it would slide off a finger of that size. That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, not to say. Wow. Do you know, Mr. Garrideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one. It was a large sunflower design as well. Really? You have a great memory for these things? You do. A large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence they have the same ring, isn't it? I'm a bit thrown by all yeah, you know exactly what I mean.
Take that!
How do I put it subtly? Like they won't. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrideb herself. Oh my word! I never knew until now. Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is my wife, yes. This is the wife, even. Yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a bally corker back in... To that. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. Do you mean Mr. Garrideb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrideb? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please! The nature of the beast was the raging wife of Mr. Garrideb. So, it was because you smashed that photo, I'm imagining. Now, Mr. Garrideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Can't keep calling her that! She seemed fine with it. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garrideb's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. Yeah. But Mrs. Garrideb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrideb's pain is tangible though. What could that pose of his really signify? I mean, it's just the fact that he's been slapped, right? Nothing more, nothing less than that. Oh my, look at that bright red mark. Gosh, that's quite something, and clearly made by somebody's hand. Yes, Mr. Garrideb has been slapped on the face, it seems. Hard. I'd never seen such a clearly defined mark. Whoever could have done such a thing? Well, there's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say. Candidate number 1. We're gonna defend him from everything that's going on. You can look at his pipe, which doesn't actually seem to have any tobacco, really. That's a very large pipe, isn't it? Yes, anyone who has something that size hanging out of his or her mouth on a regular basis is sure to have a serious chin like Mr. Garrideb's. But what's that white binding around it all about? Oh, that's a thing. Maybe that's a thing, but I somehow doubt it. We know it's the slap cheek, right?
Take that!
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madame Joan Garrideb. Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. How the blazes? How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garrideb to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Something here. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Did Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for line fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the line never existed. Which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garrideb's wife. Mr. Naruhodo, she's a person, not a thing. Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. Alright, so it's something that's not the pile of bills. So it's literally that, or the stack of books. But to be honest, let's look for the thing that draws the eye. Oh, God. Ah, someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look. Mr. Garrideb is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And look next to the signature here. Lip marks made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susanna-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. So this bookmark is actually a love note then. It's that. That would do it.
Take that!
Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here? Ah! But I don't know the bally woman. You don't know her? That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right. That's what I've been saying. Ah! A likely story. Now listen here, Joan, old thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and that note must already have been in there. So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right. That's what I've been saying. Ah! A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you'd forgotten, is John. Ah! A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite. Ugh. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken. Oh, dearie me! What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah! This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. But surely Mrs. Garrideb didn't eat the carpet? No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in is a result of her wild temper. No, that's true. So this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' seduction that we need to fix. We need only to follow Mrs. Garrideb's gaze and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, Let's see what we can see. Yes. Oh, we're not going down there? Oh, never mind. We're not going down there. It's not the circus handbill. It's not the Tower of Cakes. We know that to be certain. It's here. Finally, we get to it. Finally, we get to it. It's fallen off and burned after something was thrown this way? Possibly. This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. It looks to me like even the slightest knot would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the 3 missing from its holder? And we don't seem to be able to go down to this candle. So I've got to present this.
Take that!
Correction. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed, they are. The scorch marks of the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Mrs. Garrideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of a strike caused a candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, but the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was a scene of a fire. Mr. Sholmes, sir, I salute you! Carpet scorched by a small fire. The aftermath. And that is our deduction complete. Elementary, my dear viewers. And so, I think there we shall continue next time with a deduction nicely wrapped up with the aftermath thereof. What he's going to tell us now that we've revealed his secret and more. But we want more great deductions and dancing and perfect corrections. It's so good. Such a fun segment. But for another episode, we bring things to an end. We have figured out what took place in this room. Though I do wonder what happened to all, like, the other things that were all, like, slanted. Man, that was a wreck. Do you think he got slapped so hard that he just went into that wall and smashed all the china and all that? She does have some horsepower on her. That is for definite. But I will leave before I dig myself a hole, like Ryunosuke Naruhodo does in front of Susato. So I will see you guys next time as we find out the aftermath of all of this. Let's see where it leads us. See you more. See you there for more Great Ace Attorney adventures. Bye-bye. I had to make my own correction there.